She had no patience for the snitch. And unfortunately, the black church has become a snitching institution. Today is Sunday. Today is Sunday. Right now, we have family inside of a church worshiping God, so they think, in the avatar of Jesus Christ. Worshiping God in the avatar of Jesus Christ. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. But they are sitting in a church, most of which, 99% of which, have done nothing to improve the black community at all in any major area of life. Let me say that again. Sunday morning is the most disappointing time. No, not Sunday morning, Sunday. Sunday is the most wasted day in Black America. Sunday is the most disappointing day in Black America. Sunday is the most post-traumatic slavery disease day of the African week. And that's a shame because I'm a Leo. And Leo Day is Sunday. Leo Day is Sunday. Not only is Leo Day Sunday, the Nat Turner War Revolution began on a Sunday, August the 21st. The Nat Turner Revolutionary War began on a Sunday. But Sunday, which is supposed to be a holy day for black folks, is a day of coonery and deception. You go to church, and in most churches, black churches, Jesus is still white. Let me say it again. 400 years later. Let me say it again. 400 years later. Let me say it again. 400 years later. And in most black churches, not just in America, but around the world, in most black churches, not just in America, but around the world, Jesus is still white. Jesus is still white in Africa. Jesus is still white in Australia. Jesus is still white in Europe. Black churches in Europe. Jesus is still white in Canada. He's still white in the United States. He's still white in the Caribbean. He's still white in Central and South America. Why is Jesus still white in the black church after 400 years? Why is Jesus still white in the black church after 400 years? Now I'm going to say something to black parents. I'm going to say something to black parents. Good morning, Sister Angela Bryant, Sister LaQuanza Morrison. Shout out to my brother Stefan Mark, Amatullah Salim. I think that's a queen. Peace to the queen. Kingston Lewis, RBG all day. His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, Marcus I, Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah Rastafari. Wifey Octavia, John Blaze. Listen, I want black parents to understand, understand and overstand. I want black parents to understand, understand and overstand that if your church has white images of the deity that looks like our enemy, if your church has images of the deity that looks like our enemies, if the church you worship at has images of your deity that looks like our enemy, your children should not go with you to church. Don't indoctrinate and program your black baby's unconscious. Don't indoctrinate and condition your black children's unconscious with a belief that God is white. It's one of the worst things a parent can do to a child. It's one of the worst things a parent can do to a child is indoctrinate your babies with a belief that God is white by taking them to church. If that church don't have African images of the Christ, who was African anyway, if that church doesn't have African images of the Christ, who was African anyway, leave the children at home. Or you stay at home and you pray with the children, because Jesus said the temple of the Most High is within me. Jesus said the temple of the Most High is within. He didn't say go to church. He didn't say go to a mega church. He didn't say put on your tightest outfit and go parade around the men. That ain't what he said. He said the temple of the Most High is within. Letting the black church brainwash your black children into believing God is white. Letting the black church brainwash your black children into believing God is white. Letting the black church brainwash your black children into believing God is white is a form of child abuse. It's a form of child abuse. It's a form of child abuse. It's a form of child abuse. If you do not revolutionize your religion, black people will never be liberated. If you do not revolutionize your religion, black people will never be liberated. Spirituality is too essential. Spirituality is too essential to the collective consciousness of African people for us to allow it to remain incarcerated by the interpretations and dogmas of white supremacy, Arab supremacy, or any other supremacy. If the religion does not serve a useful purpose in the liberation struggle, that is a good sign that the religion is not for you or by you. The religion must be for us and by us. The religion must be for us and by us. If you go to the Sunni Muslim masjid and you go there, and I grew up on the Sunni Muslim masjid, and in all my years, hardly ever was there a conversation on what we going to do to help our own black people. Never. Never. The Sunni Muslim movement has no interest in liberating black folks from white supremacy. None. Zero. You might have some Muslims who are conscious, but the institution of Islam in this country and the black community has no interest in liberating black folks, and the church is no better. The church is no better. The church is no better. If you are not allowed to be proud to be an African, if you are not allowed to claim being African, if you are not allowed to discuss the problems facing African people in your church, in your masjid, then that church, that masjid is an institution of white supremacy. There are no neutrals in war. Nobody is neutral in a war. Nobody is neutral in a war. Nobody is neutral in a war. And that's another problem we have. We have too many neutral Negroes in the black community. How many black folks you go by? And most of them are religious. It's hard to be a black religious person. It's hard to be a American African Muslim or Christian and be politically conscious. It's hard because your religion indoctrinates you to be anti-political, and your religion indoctrinates you to be colorblind. Islam indoctrinates you to be colorblind. Christianity indoctrinates you to be colorblind. We suffer because we African. Our number one problem in the universe that other people have with us is the fact that we are God's original people. So if your religion doesn't acknowledge the divinity of your color, if your religion doesn't acknowledge the divinity of your color, If your religion doesn't acknowledge the divinity of your melanin, if your religion doesn't acknowledge the divinity of your ancestry, if your religion doesn't acknowledge the divinity of you being God's first people, then that religion is serving your enemy. Black religion has never overwhelmingly been for black liberation. I'm going to say it again. Black religion has never overwhelmingly been for black liberation. Never. Dr. King had to fight the church. Jesus Christ had to fight the church. The black liberation struggle had to fight the church. The church is conservative. Black church is conservative. Black religion is conservative. The Sunni Orthodox Masjid is conservative. They are conservative. T.D. Jakes is a conservative. Creflo Dollar is a conservative. They are conservative. The question is, what are they conserving? What is the black church conserving and being conservative? It's conserving the status quo. That's what it's conserving. When you hear somebody like Candace Owens, or Jesse Lee Peterson, who I believe are the husband and wife of black coonism, Candace Owens and Jesse Lee Peterson are the husband and wife of black coonism. Candace Owens and Jesse Lee Peterson are the husband and wife. They are the poster couple for black coonism. But a black conservative is nothing more. A black conservative is nothing more than a black person who wants to conserve the status quo. That's it. So the next time a Negro tells you I'm a conservative, the next time a Negro tells you I'm a conservative, he's admitting he's a coon. Conservative. Conservative. He or she wants to preserve the white power structure as it is. We want to conserve this great country the way it is. We want to conserve the inequity. We want to conserve the racism. We want to conserve the police genocide. We want to conserve the miseducation. We want to conserve the lack of resources in the black community. We want to conserve white Jesus. A black conservative is a status quo gatekeeper. A black conservative is a status quo gatekeeper. Was Mao Zedong a conservative during the Chinese Revolution? Was Chiang Kai-shek a conservative during the Vietnamese Revolution? Was the Shah of Iran a conservative during the Iranian Revolution? Was George Washington and Thomas Jefferson a conservative during the American Revolution? Show me anybody who has ever brought meaningful change who claims to be a conservative. A black conservative is a coon. I don't use the term colorism, or should I say that's not my major term for dealing with Negroes with skin tone issues. Light skin supremacy, dark skin supremacy, brown skin supremacy. Now, a revolutionary conservative wants to conserve African culture, African traditions, African revolutionary spirit. A revolutionary conservative wants to conserve the teachings of our grandmaster teachers. We want to conserve our culture. We want to conserve our ancestral heritage. A revolutionary conservative wants to conserve the great history of African people. But a political conservative ain't nothing but a coon who wants to protect the white power structure, the status quo as it is.